Hola, Ursula here from Simply Cuba Tours, and today I am very excited to introduce you to our Simply Birds of Cuba tour. But firstly, before I do that, let me ask you this question. Do you know why we have the tours that we have? The secret behind the themes that we have chosen so far is basically our passions, what we love about it, what we think is absolutely outstanding about Cuba, what we truly adore and enjoy. So it's around our passions and our love of Cuba, because we really want to make sure that when you travel with us, that truly comes through and you get an elevated experience with our excitement as we deliver the tour for you. So today's tour, Simply Birds of Cuba, is actually Ioannis's favorite tool because he just loves watching those little creatures. He's so passionate about it. You should see his face light up when he's talking about these birds. So we have chosen this to be an 8-day, 7-night tour, and because you're out and about in nature, truly getting immersed into the discovery of the areas that we are taking you to, we actually have included all your breakfast, lunch and dinner in this tour, as well as obviously all your transportation, your park entries, your guides being Ioannis and other guides in some of the other parks where you require them, as well as your transportation and your airport transfer. So basically, for this tour, all you have to do is turn up, bring your camera, maybe even try to bring your binoculars, but I think too big because they do not like it at the border, and come and enjoy the discovery of the untouched, amazing landscapes of Cuba. So the areas that we have chosen to take you to are basically a little discovery in Havana, but from Havana we'll go out to an area called Las Terrazas, which everyone calls the secret of Cuba, because it is an area, even though it's an eco-resort that was set up in 1985, it is not somewhere that tourists often go to. And in this area you will see Cuba's national bird, the tocororos. You will see nightingales, woodpeckers, our favorite, the Cuban toddy. He's absolutely beautiful. There are hummingbirds, the tiny little bee hummingbirds, if you're lucky to, or you will be lucky to see and discover it, but you really have to look out for it because it's tiny. And other things like the giant kingbirds and stuff like that. And in this area, you will actually see 16 out of the 26 endemics that's in Cuba. The reason Cuba is actually amazing for bird watching is because it's got the biggest range of birds that you will find. So it has, as I mentioned, 26 endemics, but it also has a whole lot of migratory birds coming from south and coming from north for their winter to hang out in Cuba, because it is just the perfect spot, right? So from there, we're going to an area called Soroa. Soroa is a tiny little town, but it is absolutely beautiful. It's kind of up in the hills. There is, as you walk up, you actually end up walking in the clouds at certain times of the day or certain conditions. There is just so much water, waterfalls and creeks around. As you're walking through the creeks, you will see rainbows and, of course, the birds, which is absolutely beautiful. So you head out there for 3 hours in the morning, grab lunch, have a little rest, and then head back out again in the afternoon. And you also get to see the orchid garden, which was set up by a Spaniard actually, which is stunning. Like, I love orchids, and it has just some beautiful, beautiful orchids about. While we're there, we actually take you to dinner at a traditional paladar, so you get to see how the locals get to dine out, and the food there is just absolutely beautiful. From Soroa, we head out to the Zapata Peninsula, which is actually a national biosphere reserve, as well as a Ramsar site, and it became a biosphere reserve in 2001, but it is also the largest wetlands in the area. So it gives you a beautiful, rich area in marine fauna that's also full of corals. So you get a chance here to not only discover the birds, but if you wanted to go for a bit of a snorkel and check out that as well. And we spend the rest of the trip over here because there is just so many areas that you can discover, like the Las Brehemas, Playa Larga, away from Playa Larga, where you get to see the Cuban trogon, you get to see the bare-legged owl, the Cuban parakeet, the cuckoo. There's just so many to name. The Cuban vireo, the toddy again, the bee hummingbird, and some migrants as well, like the warblers, Swainsons, and all that sort of thing. So from there, we had to Sopliar again in the afternoon for some discovery as well. And the next day after that, we head to an area called La Turba, where you get to see other birds that are living in grassy vegetated area, because it's a little bit different from the other areas. And in the afternoon, we'll discover Las Salinas, which are like tidal flats, wetlands, where you will also see the amazing flamingos, which are obviously not local to Cuba, but everybody loves those beautiful birds. So hopefully you get to see them. It is actually the biggest nesting area in the Caribbean, in Cuba, where we'll take you, that you get to see. So from there, that's actually the final part of the tour. We then head back to Havana, where you get a half-a-day tour into Old Havana, which is also a World Heritage Site since 1982. So you can see the area that is like the oldest part of Cuba, oldest part of Havana, I should say, that they're starting to renovate and restore. So it looks absolutely stunning and beautiful. So this one is obviously a tour for the nature lovers. We won't make you sleep out in the trees. We will be staying in casas with the locals, so you also get to communicate with them, see how they're living, see what Cuba is about, and get an amazing natural nature / cultural experience while you're with us.